About to blow your mind. I'm about to show you the man that's actually responsible for killing the Indians off. But not by smallpox, they lying. Here's the truth. This is Walter Plecker. In 1924, he created the Racial Integrity Act. This act forced all Indians to be reclassified as colored. Yes, colored. The same term they call black Americans ancestors. Proven before our ancestors was called colored, it was called Indians. Killing the Indians off on paper. This is why the Civil Rights Act of 1968 was also called the Indian Civil Rights Act. You awake yet?
The slave ship story is a myth. This is Alex Haley. He created the fictional novel Roots, which was later made into a docuseries and presented on the History Channel. He claims he traced his lineage back to his 7th-time great-grandfather named Kunta Kinte, an African taken from a village which would be modern-day Gambia. This is a book named The African by an author named Harold Colander. Remember that name? Guess who was the main character of this story? You guessed it, Kunta Kinte. In 1978, Haley was sued for plagiarizing Colander's book, The African. If this was his real grandfather, how your great-great-great-grandfather had the same name as Colander's main character? And why was this fraud rewarded with a monument in Heritage Square? Part 2, I'm going to tell you why.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God, stop fucking lying.
Black Americans are the Aboriginal Indians of America. Check out this glitch in the Matrix.
When I was reading to prepare for this interview, I was quite surprised to see you use the word Aborigines talking about African Americans.
You know, I've dealt with that issue. I've already, talked publicly about that. And my purpose here today is to say that I'm very sorry, and I apologize to anyone whose feelings were hurt by my comment. I've made very, very clear I don't know where that comment comes from.
Well, from your subconscious.
Well, I guess. I mean, it's not even a normal thing anyone would say. Even if you meant something in a negative fashion, I don't know if you would pull.
The average black American don't even know what an Aborigine is. So tell me again how their feelings would be hurt by the phrase. Secondly, why they making him apologize like he said the N-word or something? Thirdly, pay attention to the subconscious phrase. That's them basically saying that subconsciously they know who he is, even if we don't know who he is. And you peep how he said that ain't no average information? Of course, because that's one of the biggest secrets in American history. Aborigine, a person, animal, or plant that has been in a country or region from the earliest time. So by him calling African Americans Aborigines, basically he's saying that we was the first people on this landmass, right? Tell me again how that's offensive? The apology wasn't for black Americans. The apologies was for the higher-ups who's trying to keep that a secret. Black Americans are the Aboriginal Indians of America, Part 2. Let's check out Malcolm X breakdown what an Aborigine is.
Aborigines, which means what? Black folks. You never find a white Aborigine. Aborigines are called natives, or they're always dark-skinned people. You and I are Aborigines, but you don't like to be called an Aborigine.
There's 2 key notes to take away from what Malcolm just said. 1, they're always dark-skinned people. The statue behind me is Pocahontas' father, Chief Powhatan. If he was living today, what do you think they would have identified him as? And 2, you'll never find a white Aborigine. So explain to me how this white guy above me is the actual chief of an indigenous tribe. Black Americans realizing their true identity is the biggest threat to the U.S. government. Because then the reparation conversation changed from them kidnapping you from a continent to you being the people that they stole the land from. See, they couldn't get rid of us physically, so they got rid of us psychologically. And you're forced to go to their school so you never realize who you really are. They have to control our minds from a very young age. And they have to separate us from our parents as well. I mean, all of their traditions is built off lies. Easter Bunny, Santa Claus. When you build your power off lies, the biggest threat to your foundation is truth.
This about to blow your mind. I'm about to show you the man that's actually responsible for killing the Indians off. But not by smallpox, they lying. Here's the truth. This is Walter Plecker. In 1924, he created the Racial Integrity Act. This act forced all Indians to be reclassified as colored. Yes, colored. The same term they call black Americans ancestors. Proven before our ancestors was called colored, they was called Indians. Killing the Indians off on paper. This is why the Civil Rights Act of 1968 was also called the Indian Civil Rights Act. You awake yet?
Exhibit A. Here's a modern day phone. Recognize it? Here's a phone from 150 years ago. Big difference, right? Stay with me. Here's a car from today. And here's a car from 150 years ago. Big difference, right? Well, get this. Here's a classroom of today. And here's a class we used 150 years ago. Now ain't that a shame? In literally more than a century, nothing has changed. Yet you claim to prepare students for the future? But with evidence like that, I must ask, do you prepare students for the future or the past? I did a background check on you and let the record show that you were made to train people to work in factories, which explains why you put students in straight rows, nice and neat, tell them sit still, raise your hand if you want to speak, give them a short break to eat, and for 8 hours a day, tell them what to think. Oh, and make them compete to get an A, a letter which determines product quality, hence grade A of meat. I get it.